the end of the road in Vegas. Final game of the Big Three regular season. It means something. Ghostballers with an outside chance to make the playoffs. Three-headed monsters. If they win, they are in. Standing show, three teams have locked up spots in the Bahamas. Tri-State with the upset today against the Triplets. Those two are in. Trilogy, they lost, but they are in. Three-headed monsters, Killer Threes, the Ghostballers, still with chances to get in the Final Four. Head Cohen back with Avery Johnson. This is what it's all about, meaningful basketball to close the regular season. And for the three-headed monsters, they control their own destiny.
Yeah, they control their own destiny. You win and you're in. I've been in situations like this in my 16-year NBA career. What more can you ask for? You don't need anybody else's help. If you win this game and take care of business, we'll see you in Nassau at the Atlantis.
This guy's ready. The reason why the three-headed monsters are in this spot, you know, rebounding so big in the Big Three, and there's been nobody better in this league. The rebound king, Reggie Evans.
This is a combination between muscle and hustle. Reggie Evans, throughout his entire career, has always loved to eat glass. He's an unbelievable rebounder, and he's got great knack for where to be, you know, how to get in position, and he's scoring the basketball. And that's what I love about Reggie. He's just not a one-trick pony. He's scoring the ball, he's rebounding the basketball. He does a nice job of using his left and right hands. Really good footwork on the post. You know, he'll step out and make a shot every now and then. He knows how to play through contact. Very passionate about the game. Love what Reggie Evans is doing as co-captain of the three-headed monsters.
Avery Evans last week scored 26 against the Ball Hogs. Good news for the three-headed monsters. Mahmoud Abdurov is back here for the three-headed monsters. Again, if they win, they are in the playoffs. As for the Ghostballers, it was a really tough performance against the Triplets last week. They lost 51-19 here in Vegas.
Yes, it's one of those weeks where you just can't, the ball just doesn't go in. You know, your defense breaks down. Missed a lot of layups. You know, the game is not played from the three-point line in, but from the basket out. So they got to finish their layups.
And they're missing this guy, Mike Taylor. 3 games without him, including one he was ejected at the end. With him, 4-1. Without him, 0-2. And the scoring has really been an issue without their best player.
Yeah, when you don't have your best player, your plays don't work as good. You don't have enough guys that are threats to score. And Ricky Davis has got to be the guy. You know, he's missed the mid-range. You know, saw him this morning, you know, when he was having breakfast, and he really feels good about this game. They want to play spoiler. Since they're not going to the Bahamas, they want to play spoiler.
It is going to take a nearly perfect effort from the Ghostballers to win and get to the Bahamas. Ricky Davis, the captain. Can't forget about Chris Johnson. A huge matchup against Reggie Evans in this one here today. Well, the Iceman getting ready along with the glove, and they are both with Spider, John Sally.
So I'm sitting here with 2 Hall of Famers. I'm going to start with the better looking one, Gary, if that's okay. Coach, you guys are not in.
Well, I mean, we in it. We just ain't going to go to Bahamas, you know. I think that's the beautiful thing about it, man. We play hard. We lost a real good ball player, and, you know, we're in a spot now. We got to play for pride.
That's a good way of going. Now, Gary, you guys are in it. What do you have to play?
We just got to come out and play. That's all we're going to do is play hard. We just got to just finish the season the way we started. We got to get ready for the Bahamas and see what happens. So we just go sit out here and play. It's just about heart to me. It's about you coming here when you want to play basketball, you play basketball and play it the right way.
Okay, well, I got a great golf course for you. San Antonio. Have a good one.
Oh, Spiders killing George Gervin. Avery, if the Ghostballers win by 19, they can get to the Bahamas, but they're going to outscore the three-headed monsters by 19 without Mike Taylor. He's a realistic guy.
Yeah, it'll take a miracle. It may start snowing in Las Vegas. But you never know, right? You never know. But look at Gary Payton's shirt with the Iceman. I used to have that poster on my wall as a kid.
Wow. Going with the Jinx. Trying to put the hex on the Ghostballers. All right, final game of the regular season of the Big Three. Three-headed monsters win. They are in the Bahamas next week. Reggie Evans Denied by Johnson. Lewis got a high though to follow up.
And I know in our open we gave Reggie Evans a lot of love, but in a game like this afternoon, look for Kevin Murphy to have a big game. He ranks third in the Big Three in scoring, 21 points a game. He's been a star this year.
Chris Johnson steps out and hits it. So for the Ghostballers, they're in white. You have Davis, the captain, with Chris Johnson and Alex Scales. Kevin Murphy, along with Evans and Lewis. Rashard Lewis over Ricky Davis. And there's Evans, two guys draped on him with the board, hangs, and now going to the line for a two-point shot.
See, that's what we talked about earlier. He doesn't give up on plays. You know, it doesn't matter. He's the type of guy that you want your kids to look at in terms of when adversity sets in, or rejection or disappointment. He doesn't put his head down. He just keeps going, so he can get his shot blocked twice, and then he's going to go back after the third time.
You saw it firsthand in your days in Brooklyn.
Right, and he just doesn't quit. He never really makes excuses. He's the type of player you want on your team.
And what a core it's been with Lewis, Evans, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf coming off the bench, but it's been part of that core throughout. As Murphy misses going to his left, Lewis, a little subway push, and Evans there for the finish.
Yeah, that was a nice little chicken wing push by Rashard Lewis.
6-2 start for the three-headed monsters. Scales off the mark. Murphy from 4-point range, sizing Scales up, takes him off the dribble. Murphy, teardrop, got it. And you mentioned what he's done this year, Avery. Third in the league in scoring.
Yeah, he's been sensational this year. And Gary Payton just has a tremendous amount of confidence in him.
Kevin Murphy, 4 games this year with at least 20. Evans fakes the give. Tees it up and missed.
Now, if Reggie makes that shot, it's lights out. You may as well go home, because if he has his outside shot going with the rest of his game, rebounding and post moves, he becomes an even harder guy to guard.
Alex Scales added mid-season to the Ghostballers. Murphy short. Ricky Davis there for the long rebound. Chris Johnson off the dribble, good release, nails the long two over Evans.
Yeah, Murphy's gonna have to get it going. And you know I love to be right on my predictions. And when I'm saying Murphy's gonna have a big time game today, he's gotta get it going, make me look good.
Not gonna lie, Avery, that wasn't the best pass. Johnson spins and the finish against Lewis. And the Ghostballers take a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Chris Johnson, 6'11", you know, guy who can handle the basketball. You got guys that 6'11", 7 feet tall that can handle the ball and drive off, take a defender off the dribble and shoot it. You know, he defends the basket pretty good. He's just so long. He's like a 7'4" wingspan.
Last 7 points to the Ghostballers. There's Murphy into traffic. Almost got the runner to go. Johnson tees it up, nails the three over Evans. Chris Johnson, maybe one of the more unheralded guys in the Big Three, and the Ghostballers, it's a 10-0 run.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. When you're looking at Chris Johnson, you know, he's long, you know, he can play inside. Here it is with the left shoulder jump hook, fake the left forward. And then the last bucket, the three-point shot, Reggie Evans didn't close out far enough, disrespected him, and he made the three.
At stake, here's a look again at the playoff scenarios. Tri-State with the upset earlier against the Triplets. So those two in the playoffs. Trilogy losing, but they're in. And then the scenarios, Avery Johnson, three-headed monsters, a win, and they're in. Ghostballers need to win by a ton to get to the Bahamas. And the Killer Threes hoping the Ghostballers win by just enough to get them down to the Bahamas.
Yeah, we'll see. Our comrade John Sally already had Joyce Gervin playing golf in San Antonio. So he was making basically saying you have no shot, but you never know. Crazier things have happened.
By the way, George Gervin loves to play golf, like multiple times a week, events everywhere. Scales from Johnson. So for the three-headed monsters, you have Richard Lewis, Reggie Evans, Kevin Murphy against Johnson, Scales, and Davis for the Ghostballers.
Yeah, Gary Payton was talking in that last time out about getting Murphy a little bit more in the post.
Scales, too much. Evans, leading rebounder in every Big Three season. Last three with the three-headed monsters. First with the killer threes. Lewis finds him. Evans, the roll and the finish and the foul, and a chance at three for big Reggie Evans.
But give Reggie Evans credit, because earlier in this play, he was quarterbacking the team, getting Murphy space. Murphy spaced with a little fake split cut, and then Reggie Evans slips to the basket, and Richard Lewis hits him for an assist. But Reggie Evans really did a nice job of communicating. Communication is not always on defense. It's also on offense. And he directed Murphy on where to go, and it was a nice little two-man game with he and Richard Lewis.
He knew it was short, but Murphy with the rebound off the free throw. Good fight by the three-headed monsters. All three players combining on that rebound, and Evans scores for two.
You just see a little bit more urgency right now from the three-headed monsters compared to the Ghostballers. Especially it shows up on those loose balls.
The steal, the slap, and the free throw coming up for Evans. Avery, he has been everywhere in this first half.
Yeah, and it's good when the player consistently plays to his strengths. Reggie is the defender. Defensive player of the year, in my opinion. Gets steals. He's not so much a shot blocker. He's never really been a shot blocker in his career, but he's been a guy to move over, give his body up, and sacrifice his body for taking charges, and really good, quick hands, steals guy.
Here's Davis over Lewis. Hit the net, not the rim. And Murphy stripped. Good recovery by the Ghostballers. Up coming our way off the hands of Ricky Davis, and a turnover back to the three-headed monsters.
Boy, when George Gervin just picked that ball up, he probably had a flashback. It's like, it was so easy for me to put this ball in the basket. I went to a game years ago in New Orleans when, you remember the New Orleans Jazz?
I know about them. I don't remember them.
Right. I'm showing my age. I went to watch George Gervin play in the Superdome. He put on the show. He and Pistol Pete Maravich.
Four-time NBA scoring champion George Gervin. Trying to get Stefan Hanna into the game. The Iceman is fourth year as Ghostballers coach. Known for the finger roll. And many points along the way with the Spurs. Davis denied by Lewis. High-low, Evans to Lewis, reverse is there, and the three-headed monsters extend the lead.
Yeah, and fortunately, Ricky Davis has a good point there. Looked like he got grabbed by Richard Lewis, and again, a lot of the leagues would call fouls in that situation, but not the big three.
Oh, Chris Johnson, the drive and the reverse slam. My goodness.
And big fella, way to turn up your game. Last week, he only had 5 points. You know, the Ghostballers didn't have a player score over 7 points last week. That's why they scored 19.
Now Evans with an easy pass to the rim, but Chris Johnson, one of the big dunkers in the big three, and he scored 11 of the 14 for the Ghostballers. Scales the fake, fires over Murphy. Davis, offensive rebound, but threw it away. This one deserves another look.
Yeah, a little show and go here. That's one of the few mistakes Reggie Evans will make on defense. But give Chris Johnson credit. Nice shot fake, drive to the basket. Boom. He said, Reggie, you reach, I teach.
And he strokes another jumper. 13 for Chris Johnson. 2-point game. It's been a good one.
Yeah, he's a different player this week.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf in for the three-headed monsters, along with Murphy and Evans. Murphy bumps and scales with the foul.
I think I read something where Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf jersey, he's going to go into the Louisiana Hall of Fame. Did you hear that? Yours truly is already in it.
Elite company. Well, the foul was called on Scales, but George Gervin is going to bring the fire. First bring the fire challenge. Taco Bell bring the fire. Here are the rules. He can challenge a shooting foul. So if Murphy scores here, get the 2 points, or if Scales fouls him, it's 2 points for the three-headed monsters. And Scales will try and get the stop and wipe off the foul and wipe off the chance at points.
That's what we love about Bring the Fire.
Murphy, Scales down, and Murphy with the finish. He's got the long strides and the length, and beating the smaller Scales off the dribble.
And sometimes when a player's struggling to score, and you get in a Bring the Fire situation like this, and you score the basket, it'll potentially change the trajectory of your game. Because Murphy is a guy, which we've said a million times, the three-headed monsters, they need him to score. They need his offense.
He's got 4 points now. Evans kept it alive. Skies can't finish.
Nice job by Chris Johnson going straight up without fouling Evans.
Evans swiped it from Hanna. Hanna with the swipe but the foul, and Evans was going up, so gets a 2-point shot. Stephon Hanna, one of the newest Ghostballers, with the foul. Well, the race for the rebounding title. Evans clinching at Avery. He's got 6 boards. He needed 5 to secure it from Joe Johnson. Another rebounding crown for Reggie Evans.
Yeah, no surprise. Ed, if you were a betting man, you would have wagered. What was he? He would be 2-1 to win the rebounding title.
I picked the future like 8 weeks back at the book. Evans, now the free throws have been an issue so far in this game. But the three-headed monsters, again, if they win, they're in the playoffs next week in the Bahamas, leading 2016. On the back down, foul called as Horsley Edwards went at Evans.
In a situation like that, Gary Payton, he's definitely debating that call, and he's basically saying, what do you want me to teach Reggie to do in that situation?
Mahmoud hounding Stephon Hanna. Gets free. Horsley Edwards off the mark from 3. Edwards wearing Craig Smith's #1 jersey, but with the last name Rhino taped up, so you know it's Horsley Edwards.
Yes. Big fella with the left-handed 3. You know what I love also? The referees are doing a good job because they understand what's on the line for the three-headed monsters. And even if, Reggie Evans or Gary Payton, they're disappointed about something, especially Gary, they're not quick to call the technical foul. You want the game to be about the players. Obviously, they have to do a good job to make sure that they keep the order of the game. Love the way the game is being officiated. You know it's a lot of emotions.
Big stakes. Good hustle by Scales. Was it tipped off Murphy? Now David Posner, one of the officials, had the look from behind on it. Either way, this could be challenged if it's called off the three-headed monsters, and they're going to take a look. We've been stuck on 2016 for a while, but to your point, a lot riding on this game, especially for the three-headed monsters.
Yep, and every little thing makes a difference. It's a game of inches. Sure, you want to make a 3-point shot, you want to make a 4-point shot, but can you take a charge? And see, We just want to get it right.
Yep.
That's what replay is about. Make sure we keep the trust, especially from our fans.
Scales missing the 3. 4-point lead for the three-headed monsters. Again, if they win, they're going to the Bahamas. Evans the spin and the finish. Reggie Evans, he's nearing a first half double-double now with 12 points and 8 rebounds.
And give Murphy credit, recognizing the mismatch with Evans and Hannah.
Edwards kept his pivot foot. Horsley Edwards off balance. Murphy. That was for halftime. Scales tracking it down. Closing moments first half in Vegas. And Edwards trying to shake free of Murphy on the pick and roll.
Yeah, so here it is. You know, a lot of times you get a mismatch, nice recognition. Reggie did a good job of spinning and securing the ball. He knew the smaller defender was going to try to attempt the steal. That's when you've played a lot of basketball. You've been in those situations a million times over Reggie's career.
4 years in the Big Three. 13 years in the NBA for Reggie Evans. Edwards, no, but gets a 2-point shot. And also bred in the Big Ten. Reggie Evans playing at Iowa under Steve Alford.
Steve Alford.
Yeah.
Indiana's finest.
The 87 championship. Keith Smart hit the famous shot. He's now an assistant coach
At Arkansas. Yes. Talked to Eric Musselman yesterday and said Keith Smart was adjusting well. It's a different adjustment when you go in from the NBA to college.
No doubt.
Trust me.
You've lived it. Evans over the back, knocking down Edwards. Evans threw the ball away after the call. Technical foul, Reggie Evans in the direction of the official. So a T here gives the Ghostballers a 2-point shot. And now what you want nearing the half with a 6-point lead.
So is this a situation where Reggie's throwing the ball because he's disappointed, or he's trying to throw the ball to the referee and the referee wasn't looking?
Right.
I don't think it's the former. I think he was disappointed.
So technical foul here on Reggie Evans. Now the officials are huddling up and talking this through, which you like to see because you picked up on a great point. Was there intent there in terms of the frustration? Let's see.
So it definitely was a loose ball foul.
And then the technical.
Yep.
The official was walking away. He was throwing it, not hard, but in that direction.
And you know what? Sometimes in a situation like that, it's good. It's good to just put the ball on the floor.
So a common foul, and then the technical on Evans, and Alex Scales hits the 2-point shot. Three-headed monsters. After the timeout. Each team with 6 fouls at this juncture. And they're getting everything sorted out. There's Mamadou Ndiaye alongside Reggie Evans. Again, the three-headed monsters, they had won 2 straight entering this game here today. Trying to join everybody else atop the standings with 6 wins, Tri-State and the Triplets. But most importantly, win and get in. Raiders are now in Vegas. Just win, baby.
Yeah,
just get in.
Al Davis. Have you seen that new Raiders stadium?
Hovers over the city.
Wow.
Raiders had their first game before the fans last week in the preseason. Hand off the mark. Edwards off the head of Lewis. Edwards, no. Tipped off the rim and tipped in after a wild scramble at the rim.
And looked like it was tipped in by Lewis. Horsley Edwards, he'll get the credit.
22-20. Close first half. Lewis nearly got Edwards up. Murphy. Pass deflected. Lewis over the backboard. Almost got it to drop. Scales can't answer.
And you see, those shots in that situation, when you have defenders flying out at you, you have to shot fake it and get a better shot. Get it more what we call an open window. Play 3-on-2.
Edwards shakes free, hits the step back over Lewis. Avery tied at 22, just when it looked like the Ghostballers had lost momentum. Got a tie game.
Yeah, there's no quit in the Ghostballers right now.
Lewis fires the three and nails it. And they have hit the break in Vegas. Three-headed monsters knocking on the door of the Bahamas, up by 3.
Yeah, they're going to need more from Rashard Lewis, especially, you know, when Reggie Evans is not in the game. He's going against a bigger defender. Just decide on whether, hey, am I going to knock down the 3, take him off the dribble? Just make a decision and make the type of decision where there's no hesitancy in what you want to do. Step into the 3. Here it is. Fake the handoff. Now there was no hesitation. Nice execution on that shot by Rashard Lewis. And here's the big fella, Chris Johnson, going to the basket. Love it.
Halftime of this one. Final game in the Big 3 regular season. Three-headed monsters up by 3 at Orleans Arena.
Yay, yay! Oh, yay, yay! No! He bumped me and I hit the ball. Okay. He bumped me.
Yeah, right.
He bumped me. I
I
didn't bump him.
Okay.
He bumped me and I hit the ball.
I hear you. You're right.
I think it's safe to say why you said he is the best trash-talking player in the Big 3.
Yeah, don't bump me, Ed. I'll tell the referees you bump me. But yeah, it's trash talking, intensity. That's what I love when we have guys mic'd up. We can bring the fans behind the scenes and really see and hear what's happening on the court.
Now, the microphone was in danger there with Ricky Davis, but you could feel the emotion and really what's at stake for both teams here in the final game of this regular season. First half, three-headed monsters getting big performances from Reggie Evans and Rashard Lewis hitting the 3 to get us to the break here in the final game of the season. Let's take a look at the first half numbers.
Yeah, you got the 2 best players on the court. You know, Reggie Evans and Rashard Lewis, and obviously, you know, Murphy. You know, you got the big 3. You guys, they should have, they're way with the Ghostballers, especially offensively. So we'll see what happens in the second half.
Ghostballers have never won 5 games in their Big 3 history. Chris Johnson scored 13 in the first half.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Chris Johnson is saying, hey, if for some reason we don't make it to the Bahamas, to the playoffs, we don't want you to go. We want to spoil it. We know we have to come up with a 19-point victory. That's going to be awfully hard, but he's playing much better this week than he played last week in his 5 points.
Pretty reverse slam for Chris Johnson, veteran of 71 NBA games. Elite shot blocker in his days at LSU. Second half underway in Vegas. Ed Cohen, Avery Johnson, John Sally with you. Kevin Murphy on a journey to the rim scores for the three-headed monsters.
And early in the first half when Murphy scored in that bring the fire situation, we were talking about that could be a turning point for him in scoring the ball since he struggled early in the game. And he's come out in his second half with a lot of intensity.
Shot clock coming down. Johnson does not get it away. A violation on the Ghostballers, who have Horsley Edwards, Stephon Hanna, and Chris Johnson on the floor for George Gervin.
Well, teams don't go to the locker room at halftime, but you can tell there's a different level of intensity to start this second half for the three-headed monsters.
Murphy slicing, hangs, and finishes, and the foul. And Kevin Murphy showing why he has been one of the best scorers this year in the Big 3.
Yeah, and he once scored 50 points in a college basketball game, and this guy can put the ball in the basket. Look at the body control, the elevation. He's got really good size. This guy is 6'6", solid body.
Coming our way. Davis beating Murphy to it. Good hands by Evans. Did he knock it off Davis cleanly? He did not. Nope, he did.
But right now, three-headed monsters, 4-0 run to start this half.
Lewis. Johnson kept the ball in bounds. Got Lewis up. Johnson twirls. Can't hit. You mentioned Murphy, Avery. He played at Tennessee Tech. Scored 50 in a game in 2012 against Southern Illinois. Hung it up on the Salukis. Evans off the mark. Johnson. Evans stripped him. Shot clock down to 3.
You got to be stronger with the ball whenever Reggie Evans is around. Those strips and deflections, it just leads to bad things.
Now, just surveying it right now. Again, the Ghostballers without Mike Taylor. One of the most exciting players of the Big Three. Injured his groin in Week 5 in Milwaukee. And they have not been the same team since. Murphy's runner. He's going to the line for a 2-point shot. Fouled by Corsley Edwards.
Murphy is a different player. He's a different player to start this half. And this game can get over pretty quickly if he turns it on. When you're averaging 21 points a game in the Big Three, that means you are a baller. Because there's nothing easy in this league.
Reggie Evans, big rebound and putback. And flexing the muscles for the three-headed monsters.
On free throws, you got to get your box out assignments done. Here Ricky Davis should have been squeezing Reggie Evans and not allowing Corsley Edwards to have that responsibility by himself.
This is another free throw. That's been a problem for Evans in this game. Edwards tees up the long 2.
Murphy's open.
Edwards slowing him up. Murphy on the reset. Crossover to the rim. Extra feed. Lewis has to hoist. Thought he was fouled. A lot of contact from Davis. All day. Rimmed out. And now Murphy, quick release. It's become a shootout to the half.
Couldn't convert any of those shots. And threes are just not going. So if they're not going, you got to go to a plan B. And this is a good plan B to go into Reggie Evans, get the ball and play through the post.
Here he is. Lewis shakes free, rather Evans. And both teams just waiting for that to get the scoring back on track.
Yeah, you missed 3 threes in a row. You got to change it up. Try something in the post to mid-range.
Murphy hounding Davis. Johnson now gets free of Lewis. Good D. 1 to shoot. Does Johnson know it? He does not. And a 14-second violation on the Ghostballers.
Yeah, here's Evans. Long 2. That's normally out of his range, but not today.
He has really found new gear after a slow start. And right now, an 11-0 extended run for the three-headed monsters. And Murphy adding to it. It's 15 straight points. Timeout on the floor, a 37-22 lead for the three-headed monsters.
Man, Murphy loves the way that ball feels. You can tell by the first player the second half came out, drive to the basket, all over the place. And then when you're feeling good, then it transfers to all parts of your game. And nice 4-point shot. I'm glad the 4-point shot is in the Big Three. Bad ones. And the bad ones have a lot in common, but the good ones do. And you talk about Ice Cube and Jeff, but it's a team effort. There are a lot of folks behind the scenes that nobody ever sees to really bring these games and pull it all together. And now with dealing with all of the different COVID protocols, we've done a magnificent job there. Everybody's cooperating, and it's just going to be a really strong documentary, you know, sometime here soon about how the Big Three has started and continue to be successful.
Well, it's really the best professional 3-on-3 basketball league in the world. And what makes it exciting, you think of the Bring the Fire rule and the wave of new players like Kevin Murphy just made a killer crossover, but missed it. There's something new each season. There's always a new wrinkle, and that keeps it fresh. It keeps it exciting. As Scales was out of bounds, and it makes you appreciate what you have now and certainly what you might have in the future.
And I look at two other adjustments: reducing the age.
Yes.
Okay, and then the tryouts. You see the tryouts? How many guys show up for the tryouts before the season? I mean, it's just incredible.
Murphy, that's a 4-point shot. A guy who came out of the combine, Justin Dentman, now at Tri-State, has been huge for them in winning 6 games this year and making the Bahamas, which became the end goal for everybody in the league the minute the Big Three said, hey, we're going to stage our last 2 rounds. Battle of Atlantis, basically.
And not just the players, the families.
Yes.
You know, the kids, the wives, the girlfriends, mamas and daddies. Everybody want to go to the Bahamas.
Avery and Cassandra.
Yes, we will be there.
Murphy off the air ball with the finish. Well, great to be with all of you along the ride. CBS, Thriller, and Fight. And thanks to everyone in the Big Three. Headed to the Bahamas next weekend. 3-headed monsters leading by 19 as Scales go in reverse, and Rashard Lewis applying the foul.
And you know what else? Next week I've already ordered the weather.
Ooh.
No rain.
Some might be screaming who are superstitious, saying you can't do that, but I think many appreciate the effort.
Yes.
Stephen Jackson, your coach of the year. All smiles even after the loss today from Trilogy.
You know what
a fun couple of games coming up.
And you know what I love about Stephen Jackson? There's a young man that he's been mentoring. He's only about 12 years old. He's back in school in Kentucky right now. But he spent a couple of weeks with Stephen here on this Big Three circuit. And Stephen is, you know, helping him, mentoring him. And that's a beautiful thing to watch.
Now, they didn't call goaltend on the Johnson block, and Lewis and Evans were pleading for it. And then Evans trying to get the ball back. Rye's smile is called for the foul. 3-headed monsters trying to get back to the playoffs. Evans, with Johnson walking the tightrope, applies another foul. And Ghostballers, even if they come back and pull off the miracle upset, are still eliminated now from the playoffs. They had to win by at least 19. That will not happen in this first to 50 format. Scales knocked down, and Evans with 3 consecutive fouls here. Remember, if you pick up a 4th and you stay on the court, that leads to a technical, but for now, his 3rd.
Yeah, and Gary Payton came over to the table, and he just said, I told my team to stop messing around, but I'm giving you the clean version. All right?
PG,
yeah.
Reggie Evans.
I said, did you
Gary Payton.
Yeah. He said he told him this game should have been over.
Never ceases to amaze, the glove. And talk about coaches in this league. He's going to be leading Division II Lincoln University in Oakland coming up. Murphy missed with the left. Johnson corrals it for the Ghostballers.
Yeah, give the Ghostballers credit, Dave. Haven't quit. They're still playing hard defensively.
Alex Scales off the mark. Back tap by Davis. Johnson, why not? Murphy times the rebound.
Yeah, Murphy got away with another opportunity where he didn't box out. Fortunately, they were able to secure the ball. But you have to box out when a guy takes a long 3-point shot. You have to find your man to keep him off the glass.
3-headed monsters, double-doubles for Reggie Evans and Kevin Murphy. Evans with 16 and 12. And is fouled by Scales, can add to it with a 2-point shot. You have 3 players for the 3-headed monsters with at least 13 points.
Yeah, nice job by Reggie. He just does a really good job of exploiting mismatches. You know, he knows he has a size and strength advantage on smaller defenders. And then when you're forced to double team him, he's a willing passer.
Davis holding his own against Murphy. Scales swipes it. He's got the steal. Davis hit the rim 3 times. Couldn't Kawhi it in.
3-headed monsters got to move a little bit more.
Evans, flat-footed, late whistle, was being pulled underneath the basket, and he's fouled by Ricky Davis.
And another tip, when the shot goes up, you got to try to get 2 guys, especially if somebody's behind the 3-point line, is get Reggie Evans off the glass. Look at his stats.
He could go 1 against 3, easy.
And that's why guys like Joe Johnson has been dethroned as the MVP, because Reggie Evans has stepped up a couple of times, and he's just playing terrific basketball.
Ricky Davis teed up, so a technical free throw coming up for Rashard Lewis. And Ricky Davis is now chatting up with one of the fans here as Lewis makes the free throw. It's one of the great things about the Big Three, really basketball in general, the proximity you have to the court, and when it's good-natured and it's fun, it makes for a wonderful scene.
Yeah, we have a guy behind us. He's been here. I think he arrived 2 hours before the doors open. He was ready to go. He's been giving a couple of players a hard time with all of our games. But it's fun. It's fun. That's what it should be.
Timeout, Gary Payton. 47-28, the 3-headed monsters are 3 points away from locking up the final spot in the Bahamas next week. Reggie Evans, another terrific performance, his 5th double-double in the last 6 games for the 3-headed monsters. Avery, you predicted it. The crystal ball, Kevin Murphy, has indeed delivered.
Yeah, he's delivered, and they got him in the post early in the game. He's a magnificent driver to the basket. Really good ball control, body control, plays through contact. He was a little lethargic to start the game, but he's a different player now.
31 years old. Played 1 NBA season, appeared in 17 games with the Jazz in 2012-2013. But mainly years spent in the G League and overseas, and one of the great young talents and new talents in the Big Three.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a disappearing act in the first half, sort of like John Sally. We haven't heard from him in a while. What's John Sally's doing? Is he preparing to go to the Pacquiao fight tonight or something? Does he understand we're still working?
We lost him to Vegas. Evans going to the rim, lost the handle, but he is fouled. Got to keep an eye on John, you know.
Reggie Evans made an outside shot. Chris Johnson closed out to him, and ferocious dunk attempt there.
One point away. Make it, you take it. Murphy driving for the win. Banker, not yet. Johnson slips out. Trying to chase him off the line. Chris Johnson, step to his left, nails it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you don't want. When you have a big lead, teams can climb back in it pretty quickly with a 3, or in the Big Three's case, the 4-point shot.
Evans for the win.
The 3-headed monsters, they've missed Rashard Lewis twice. Now the Ghostballers on the 6-0 run. And when you have a 20-point lead, you just, sometimes the human part of you just go to sleep a little bit. You get careless on defense, which 3-headed monsters have allowed 2 3-point shots consecutively. Rashard Lewis needs to get a touch here.
Murphy, drop step to the rim. It's the dunk, late whistle. Chris Johnson is called for the foul, and Murphy will get a 2-point shot for the win.
Yeah.
After seeing that, can you maybe understand why the Iceman's going to bring the fire?
Yes, I can understand it. Yeah, he went straight up. Nice job by Chris Johnson.
Taco Bell bring the fire. First here in the Big Three, and it could very well end the regular season. Murphy can't hit, and Johnson gets a stop. Three-headed monsters are still 1 point away.
And you know what? Look, if you look at Coach Gary Payton, he looked like he's pretty comfortable with that shot. Just didn't go in, but give the Hall of Famer top 50 George Gervin credit for challenging that to bring the fire.
Johnson gets a look, nails it, so 9 straight now for the Ghostballers.
9 straight. I think now the three-headed monsters are going to end this game.
Murphy lost the handle, got it back. Another chance. Can't finish it. Johnson looking for space, lost the handle, it's loose.
Yep. Off Johnson. Johnson. No, this is off Johnson.
Look at the glove.
I think he's right about it.
That feeling of being so close, but not there just yet.
Ed, I'm so glad I'm sitting next to you in my blood pressure. And I have to act like Gary Payton. That is it's a bad feeling. So we'll see if the glove is right.
The coaching profession, no matter the league, it's going to get you in the best of ways. So they'll take a look. The officials, let's get a better shot of it here in Triller and Fight.
Murphy never touched the ball. Basically, no, Murphy never touched the ball. So the ball basically just slipped out of Chris Johnson's hands. This is an easy review. This is Green's ball. Yeah.
Gary Payton has his arms crossed with a look of, I told you so.
Yes.
Three-headed monsters, point game. Murphy, teardrop. Gets the bounce. Three-headed monsters are Bahamas bounds. And the regular season is over in the Big Three, and the Final Four is set. The Gloves team in the playoffs once again.
Now they can take a deep breath. So excited about our 4 teams in the Bahamas. Went to go-to guy, leading scorer on the team. You get him in this spot. Let him go to work. Here it is. He's got the size advantage on scales. Left shoulder. Got a little bit of a roll on it. And if he would have missed that shot, Reggie Evans was in position to get the offensive rebound and possibly score.
So, the season is in the books. And now 2 weeks remaining in the Bahamas. Tri-State, the top seed, followed by the Triplets. Three-headed monsters with 6 wins. They'll be the 3rd seed and face the Triplets in the Bahamas. And then Trilogy, even though they lost today, 5-3 with the point differential edge against the Killer Threes. They are headed to the Bahamas. And here's how it's all going to play out. All games on CBS, the Final Four in the Big Three in 2021. Tri-State and Trilogy, the Triplets, and the Three-Headed Monsters. Reggie Evans, another double-double for the Three-Headed Monsters. Spider Sally, Reggie Evans after the final game here in Vegas. John?
Okay, Reggie, I had to come and tell you we had to stretch it. You were like, saw you about to start fighting like Pacquiao tonight.
Yeah, you know, that just shows how competitive Ghostballer was, you know what I'm saying? They just want to go give up, you know, so that's good, you know what I'm saying? So it challenged us and stuff, but we ended up finding a way to get a win and stuff at the end.
14 rebounds. I think you got 16 rebounds. Like rebounding as much as scoring, your total package.
Yeah, you know, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I've been rebounding for my career pretty much. High school, middle school, you know what I'm saying, pros and stuff. So why, I can't stop now, you know what I'm saying? So my teammate need that.
Okay, so now you get to go to the Bahamas. What's the plan? I know it's to win, but what's the plan?
What's the plan is we got to start out, we got to start much better, and we got to be able to finish the game. And, you know, me, I got to keep my head in the game and not get so frustrated with certain things that don't go my way and stuff. But, you know, we got to see who we're going to play also, too. You know what I'm saying? That going to determine our game plan moving forward, who we're going to play next.
Well, you're my favorite player in the league.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
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 That means a lot
See you
coming
later.
from you.
All right. Easy.